what you have going on is an agency that was out there spending $15 million to give condoms to the Taliban.
President Donald Trump is calling for USAID to be shut down.
$50 million being sent to Gaza to buy condoms for Hamas.
I'm not sure we should be sending $50 million worth of condoms to anywhere.
This wasn't the exception. This was the rule of what was going on.
Well, let me just stop you there.
Well, just,
AID does not give condoms to political movements. It gives it to health clinics.
Just hours into his new term in office, Donald Trump signed a slew of executive orders freezing almost all foreign assistance for 90 days. The main focus of his wrath was $600 million of USAID spending on global family planning.
There has been tremendous waste and fraud and abuse. We identified and stopped $50 million being sent to Gaza to buy condoms for Hamas. And you know what's happened to them? They've used them as a method of making bombs. How about that?
Because of these cuts, every week nearly 1 million women and girls worldwide are denied contraceptive care. So we travel to Uganda and Zimbabwe to find out what USAID has really been funding and what it means now it has been cut.
Hi, I'm Belle. Nice to meet you. How are you doing?
Nice to meet you too. I'm Dr. Vanessa.
How many people are here today then?
The clients, about 50 to 60.
How far have they come from?
5-6 kilometers.
They have to walk here?
Most of them walk.
This clinic is run by MSI Reproductive Choices, a charity that right now is providing contraceptives to over 38 million women and girls worldwide. When Donald Trump introduced the cuts, they immediately lost $14 million, or all of their USAID funding.
They had the news that there would be no longer services being given to Africa. So we have quite a number of women who have braved the rain. They thought they could rush and get maybe the last bit of help that they could today.
Had the rumors that Trump has stopped family planning in Uganda, supporting women.
If you lost the access to family planning, how bad would that be for you?
Of course, meaning I'm going to produce unwanted pregnancy. I will just not afford to take care of them, school fees, all those things.
The women here worry about the deadly pressure being constantly pregnant puts on their bodies, as well as the lack of resources to support growing families. Without contraception, the very real fear here is poverty and death. One of the girls the team is worried about is rape survivor and teenage mum Annette. She has come here today to have a 3-year contraceptive implant inserted. It costs just $10, but even that for her is completely unaffordable. According to the UN, over 79 million women and girls in sub-Saharan Africa have experienced rape or sexual assault as children. Reeling from her violent attack, pregnant and rejected by her community, Annette has struggled to put food on the table. For Annette, the implant has been life-changing as it has allowed her to go back and even finish school. Other friends in a similar situation searched for a deadly alternative. Unsafe abortions remain one of the leading causes of maternal mortality globally, and a major concern in Uganda, where just 25 years ago, the country's maternal mortality rate was among the highest in the world. Family planning has been a key factor in reducing that rate by more than half. In fact, USAID support for family planning saves the lives of around 34,000 women and girls each year. Protections, MSI now fears, will be erased.
When we were just talking to this teenage girl, you were quite upset. Is this hard for you to have to do and see every day?
Yes, horrible. In every community that we go out to, women are crying. There's a lot of sadness. There's a need for information. There has been a sudden increase in the number of people coming to our services. I think basically because other implementing partners have been stopped, and therefore the need is overwhelming.
The deadly impact of cuts to family planning is on the mind of Bridget, a mother of 5 who's waiting for her appointment at a different MSI-supported clinic. 2 of her friends who had no access to contraception and couldn't afford to keep their babies died after seeking backstreet abortions. She describes untrained practitioners inserting sticks and herbs into their uteruses.
Nagenda mu ddwaliro ne bamugamba nti waliwo emboyo byasigadde byavundiramu munda. Agenda okugenda mu ddwaliro nga kiri too late.
Also in the waiting room is Joyce, who had her baby 5 years ago when she was just 13. Another concern here with the cuts is a surge in teenage pregnancies.
To be so young and pregnant, was that hard?
Yeah, it was so painful that I couldn't manage.
Like Annette, Joyce was shunned by her local community and her parents. She felt like she had no future.
The parents, they could mistreat me. Sometimes they could not give me like the basic needs that I need in life, and they could send me away of home. And the village members could also talk about me. They could insult me, and it made me to be so lonely.
She says getting access to the support from this clinic turned her life around.
This family planning enabled me to finish my education. It has also helped me to prevent unwanted pregnancy. And besides that, it has brought relationship between me and my parents and my relatives.
They treat you better now. They're nicer to you now.
Yes.
The experiences of the women and girls we have met underscores why the UN sees family planning as so much more than just handing out condoms.
Family planning is literally one of the cornerstones of economic stability, gender equality. It allows girls to stay in school. It allows women to enter the workforce and contribute to economic growth, boosting GDP and the country's long-term prosperity, as well as increasing women's participation in the public space in decision-making processes.
So you're saying something as simple as, let's put it bluntly, $1 for a condom or $10 for a 3-year implant. This could impact the GDP of a country.
For each dollar invested in voluntary, rights-based family planning, you can yield the return as much as $26 in economic benefits. I think it's really one of the highest yielding development investments available. It's a no-brainer.
At the inauguration, we were all, anxious to see what was going to come out. And then on 27 January, that was a Monday, we received a communication. So we opened the email and date saying your program has been suspended. Our mobile teams were in 4 provinces that immediately suspend services. Stop, bring back all the cars to the head office, stop all operations.
Could you even warn people?
No, we didn't warn. We didn't have time for that because remember this was Monday.
So you can't even tell the patient's clients?
No, there's no notice. What it means that some of our clients, they were there waiting for us.
Because of the remote locations of the villages they serve, MSI works by driving around and announcing via megaphone the future dates of upcoming clinics so that families can attend. The immediate stop work order meant they couldn't even warn patients they weren't coming. In the villages, that meant for weeks, medical teams just failed to turn up. Population Services Zimbabwe, supported by MSI, have found enough funding to continue their work until September, but there's no plan after that. They've already had to let go at least 30 members of staff and have put the rest on limited schedules.
We closed for services, and it was very terrible for us to lose our jobs.
In fact, the cuts have impacted healthcare workers across the world. Around 1,700 midwives globally were paid for by USAID money.
Actually, we are breadwinners. If we lose our jobs, we don't even know what to do to our kids.
Around the world tonight, nearly $10 million worth of birth control purchased with U.S. taxpayer money might be destroyed instead of being sent to women overseas.
In July, as charities were still reeling from funding cuts, news broke the U.S. plans to actually burn nearly $10 million worth of USAID-bought contraceptives being held in a warehouse in Europe.
So they'll shut down Planned Parenthood, they'll ban abortion, but they won't help people get the birth control they need to.
It will cost additional taxpayer money to destroy these supplies.
We're aware of it, and we recognize the issues, but we also, of course, are committed to policy that Americans care about, and we're going to be moving forward.
In a message to us, the State Department said a decision was made to destroy certain abortifacient birth control commodities, which means any substance that can terminate a pregnancy. They added no HIV medications or condoms are being destroyed. They also told us the decision to end all funding for family planning abroad was part of a, quote, new era of foreign assistance, guided by whether it makes America safer, stronger, and more prosperous. The US even reportedly turned down offers from the UN to buy or ship the supplies to clinics in poorer nations. Clinics like the ones that support Annette and Joyce. Joyce now dreams of being a nurse herself to help other teenagers.
Never had that hope that I would go back to school, but by God's will, I feel like becoming a medical worker, like a nurse.
Looking after other teenage girls?
Yes.
Global solidarity is more needed now than ever. We need to allow countries to mobilize their own domestic resources. We need to fundraise for the programs that are now being cut, because the priority for us is very clear. Please don't let women and girls die.